Hello YouTube, and welcome back to Supreme Commander 2. We're back with another cast from the recent 1v1 Swiss tournament. Played in the official Discord with a bunch of people. Today we've got a nice lineup. We have Alphahex in the... hold on. I can't turn on the score. That's tragic. With Alphahex in the brown Cybran, going first air, and we have NuclearPizza in the blue Illuminate, going first land. They're playing... I don't remember what the name of this map is. It's a custom map. It's one of the custom maps in the game. Forgive me, I will try to find the name later and put it in the title of the video. Now, I'm also... sure. The is it T? No. Control T. Alt T. No. Shift T. No. Anyway, I thought there was a way to follow the units. Also, you'll notice I have. Let's see, I'm gonna. There we go. Turned off the health bars, and we're going to try that just because I feel like sometimes it takes up a bunch of the screen, makes it hard to focus on. Anyway, let's get into what these players are doing. We have Alphahex has moved into an air and land opener. Now, from what I understand, air-land is technically the most efficient opener in the game, but it's also like one of the hardest to micro. To go first air, second land. Fighter bomber's going to come up and start working on shutting down these engineers. Not going to get much done with the first fighter bomber, but it's going to force the anti-air turret out of these factories here, and also is going to probably encourage Mr. NuclearPizza here to go into Harvogs rather than tanks, and Harvogs are going to be easier to deal with from these loyalists than the tanks will. The tanks are going to be higher health, higher damage, higher range, I believe. Yeah, higher range on the Yinzus versus the Harvogs here. Just plain old loyalists coming up so far from these factories. He's stopped production on the air factory, it looks like. I can confirm that if I turn the health bars back on. Yep. So, not producing from that air factory right now. NuclearPizza using his commander to expand quickly here. He's gone into a very quick second expansion, ignoring his backline to instead get these 4 mass extractors to the southeast. Probably, in my opinion, a more efficient expansion than going for these back here, just because of it's the same distance, but they're closer together, so you can build them a little bit quicker, especially using that commander. But it does mean that he's actually technically still behind in terms of controlled mass. One, because these bombers are going to be over here harassing for free. Going to put throw the land factory up, probably to use it for that anti-air turret in addition to being his third land factory. Very clever play here, actually. I should do this more often myself, because very often in this position I will throw down the dedicated anti-air turret instead of the factory, and the factory makes a lot more sense here. Decent loyalist blob coming up here from Alphahex. He's not using them yet. He knows that he's not going to be able to harass and get much done with these tanks out. Using these bombers now to scout and figure out if his opponent has expanded. So far, Alphahex does indeed control more mass than his opponent due to the lack of air power from NuclearPizza, meaning that he can expand for free. Forward radar here. I believe this radar range, this is a small map, so this radar probably covers, like... I'm not sure exactly the scale of this map, but it looks quite small based on the flight times here, so it probably comes up to around here, maybe? But it could go as far as, like, the front of the base here. I don't believe it goes that far from the main base, from the spawn, but enough to certainly know whether or not any harassment is coming in. I would actually, you know what, probably about this range. Probably around here somewhere. So enough warning time for him to know if there's anything coming in at him. Speaking of which, he's going to take these loyalists. He's going to go ahead and march forward and see if he can find anything to attack now. Now, honestly, this map does appear quite small, so I could be wrong about that intel range there. I wish I could see it during the replay, what the range is for that, because I could be very wrong. have to load in this map myself at some point and find that out. Scale can be very deceiving in Supreme Commander 2 when it comes to map sizes and what covers what. Speaking of which, though, it does look like he has coverage here. So yeah, so you know what? That radar probably comes out to the base because it looks like he is able to react to the presence of these tanks. So that radar coverage does come out at least to part of the main base here for NuclearPizza. NuclearPizza obviously has the radar himself and is going to be able to react equally as well. Yeah, you know what? I guess that radar range does come out on this map. This map is smaller than I thought it was because he's able to react to the presence of these tanks pretty well here. Or, you know what? He may just have immense, monstrous game knowledge and knows that the reaction was coming, and so he moved away preemptively. Either way, though, he is going to get into the backlines here. That being said, there's actually not anything in the backlines. He's confirmed that there's nothing back here. NuclearPizza's not really been able to expand outside of this little set of mass extractors here. He is going to push and try to take this one down here. That will put him on, let's see, 4, 8, 9. They'll put him on 13 mass extractors if he gets all 4 of these, compared to Alpha's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Alphahex already with a pretty sizable lead here, as we knew he would be. These two are going to posture up against each other here. These tanks are actually plenty enough now to get to finish off these loyalists. So the problem is that the tanks are much slower, so it's very easy for them to get outmaneuvered. So he does still have to be careful. He's going to stick close to his base for now. He doesn't have anything up here to protect, so there's no point to take the engagement needlessly. Similarly, these loyalists here are not going to be enough to finish off this tank force here with the support from the commander. They're going to be forced to pull away from that for right now. Looks like Bomber's going to try to go in and get some work done. Anti-air tower out from the land factory. Going to shut this down as I predicted, using that land factory for the anti-air turret to provide anti-air coverage over here, meaning he doesn't have to build Harvogs. So very clever way so far for him to avoid having to use that. He's also built Crawdaus, the mobile anti-air dedicated unit from the Illuminate faction here, the Aeon. Don't see them too very often, but the way that NuclearPizza is playing this makes sense. He doesn't really need a lot of them to shut down these fighter bombers, not until there's a critical mass of them, which he's not even close to, due to the fact that he's only got one air factory, and he's focusing into land. That being said, we have increased production capabilities coming up for Alphahex here. His mass production has gotten up pretty significantly. He's taken over pretty wide swath of his area of the map to the north and to the east of him, meaning he's planned to go scale up to 6 factories here. He stopped short, actually canceled 2 of them to build more energy and some research stations. He's going to sit on 4 factories right now, matching NuclearPizza's numbers perfectly, with a little bit of fighter bomber support coming out here. But again, these fighter bombers may not be able to get a whole lot done in terms of damage due to the presence of the anti-air weaponry here. However, what they are doing is they are effectively preventing any kind of expansion methods here, any free expansion, I should say. Any kind of expansion that NuclearPizza wants to go for here is going to be forced to come in by way of... it's going to have to dedicate forces to protecting engineers from air attacks. He's also going to get a pretty free bombing run here, kill a bunch of, 3-4 tanks here, and do a bunch of AoE splash damage to some others. Yeah, some of these are quite weakened in here. Loyalist's going to come away with pretty minimal losses, I think. In fact, he may have even lost 0. Very, very, very few Loyalist wreckages in there that I'm seeing. So, nice little hit and run on these Yenzu tanks. But you'll notice that NuclearPizza does have, somewhere, I saw them mixed in a minute ago, Bada Boom mobile armor boosters. I could have sworn maybe they got killed. I think that might have been some of the units that got killed, because I know for a fact he was building them. I swear I saw them at some point. Either way, though, Bomber's going to come in and get more damage in, taking no losses from the Crawdaus. The Crawdaus are pretty effective here at shooing away these forces. More land factories coming up here in the main base for Alphahex. Nuclear Pizza forced to play very defensively. There's the Bada Booms. I knew they were in here somewhere. These Bada Booms are very effective. They take these tanks from, I think, 1500 max health. Yeah, 1500 to 1950. Pretty sizable difference. 450 extra health on all the surrounding tanks, as well as being a 500 health damage soaker itself. Taking these Harvogs from, I think, 1200 health to 1560. I think it's 1200. Yep. 1200 health to 1560 on these Harvogs. An additional 360 health for these Harvogs is actually pretty sizable, considering that means that when compared to Loyalists, Brackmans are at 1000 health. Loyalists are going to be at 1375. So these Harvogs are going to still be, are going to be higher health now than the Loyalists, and that does make a pretty sizable difference. I believe he's going into the Harvogs due to the anti-air upgrade, going to allow a little bit more maneuverability. Crowdouts just don't get it done. I very rarely see them used, to be honest. Tanks have a range advantage here on these Loyalists, as you can see by that one tank getting some free pot shots here. Brackmans, however, are going to present a pretty sizable problem, as it always does for tank blobs from especially the Illuminate factions here. Harvogs moving in and going to engage these Loyalists up close and personal with a little bit of tank support. Loyalists not being microed here. Going to get killed for almost free. They did kill one mass extractor, but I don't think they're going to get anything else for their trouble. No, it doesn't look like it, and that mass extractor is going to go right back up. Nuclear Pizza here going to get a pretty good collapse in on top of this group of Loyalists here. They're going to try to move into the base here, possibly hoping to find the commander, because he knows the commander was over here at one point, hoping to catch him out and get the kill. This many Loyalists, even under pressure from these tanks, would be enough to kill the commander if they get a decent surround on him. And he doesn't have anything like the overcharge and things like that. But instead, it looks like they're going to kill a factory, they're going to kill a couple mass extractors, and then my guess is that they will probably slowly be cleaned up by the encroaching forces here from Nuclear Pizza. Brackman's now added to the mix. They're going to move out in another small group across the field here, hoping to find the main base for Nuclear Pizza undefended, but they are going to find that some forces have already come up here. Harvog's going to have higher maneuverability here, meaning that against these Brackmans, they have a higher chance of dodging the incoming fire, but it also means that any shots that do land are going to be doing pretty hefty damage in comparison to the amount of health that they have. It only takes a few Brackman shots, I think, to kill a Harvog. And they have pretty decent AoE in them, so any grouping you do with the control click is going to result in pretty gnarly damage. Yep, we're going to see Harvog's able to move back here. No problem. He's paying attention. But now that he knows that these Brackmans are out, he's going to have to find a way to deal with them. Nuclear Pizza on an immense amount of back foot here, actually. Economic damage being done in the back line. There's not enough response here to prevent the death of this mass extractor again. Going to get the kill on that. An engagement happening here on the front lines, trying to catch these Harvogs out, these Brackman rounds. A couple of these shots are going to land. And the presence of the Brackmans is going to mean that the unit micro for these Harvogs has to be pretty much constant and on point. And in the back lines, we have triple megaliths going to start production here. 2 factories already producing a megalith of their own, with a third looks like it's well on the way. More land factories in the back lines here. Probably going to be used for flanking maneuvers, at least from this section up here. Nuclear Pizza pushing in with his commander. Maybe he's got the overcharge upgrade on that, and he's hoping to catch these forces out in the land engagement and be able to push in with these Harvogs. This mixed force of Harvog tanks is good for the anti-air, but it means that half of your forces are going to be lagging behind every time they take an engagement, meaning that you almost have to micro them separately in order to use them efficiently, and that's pretty hard to do. That being said, Nuclear Pizza is an incredibly skilled player, and he is dodging a lot of these shots with the Harvogs at least, and using the commander. It looks like he's dodged most of the shots with the Yinzus as well. A couple of these on low health, but not too many. Loyal is still taking effective trades here against the Harvogs. Nuclear Pizza, despite all of the pressure he's been under, has pushed right up into the base of his opponent here. Ooh, Brackman's starting to get some really good hits, though, taking out a few units for free. Decent damage onto the commander coming out here. And once these megaliths come off the line, there's the first two. That's going to immediately put a pretty hard shutdown on all of these. If unit teleport isn't out yet for this Illuminate commander, these megaliths are going to be an absolute killer. Power detonate and some good Brackman shots. I think I saw a power detonate in there. Maybe not. Maybe it's just good Brackmans. But either way, AoE damage is going to come in here really strong for our Cyber Hero Alphahex. Megalith's going to seal the deal completely, and that's going to be all she wrote for NuclearPizza, I think. I'm not really seeing a way for him to come back from this. Radar station's going to come up, doing what he can, doing the absolute most with his remaining land forces, funneling reinforcements as quickly as he can into this front line here. He knows that his only chance, if he has one at all, is to keep the pressure on. He's hoping to... Nope, there he goes. NuclearPizza, I believe that was a Control K, knowing that it was over. Control K's his commander and falls to the brown Cybern player. Alphahex commanded an absolute dominant lead for the entirety of that match. He did not allow his opponent to escape his main base in his initial expansion, meaning all of this mass to the north of NuclearPizza's base that normally should have been his was unfortunately just not able to be taken. That one singular air factory here probably contributed the most to this game. I know that may be an interesting take given all the other forces that had going on, but those 3 or 4 early fighter bombers preventing NuclearPizza from expanding because he knew he wouldn't be able to expand for free. It was kind of a psychological attack. He didn't have to dedicate very much resources to these air factories, none at all. He had one factory producing constantly, and that was enough to prevent engineers from expanding for free, meaning that NuclearPizza decided to go for military instead to try and muscle his way into a lead using the anti-air units at his disposal to secure a victory here, but he wasn't able to because not much resources were actually put into the air units. There was just enough there to force the response, and forcing that response is ultimately what allowed Alphahex to expand for free and come into this game pretty dominantly. So on that note, that was a 1v1 between Alphahex and NuclearPizza. Alphahex is going to take the win. That has been another cast from the 1v1 tournament. I plan on doing a few more, maybe at least 2 or 3 more, but if you'd like to see more, let me know, and I will start picking through other replays. There's some casual replays that get submitted in the main Discord channel that I can cast as well. And in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video. Goodbye.